Let's see how this is. All right, let's get ready. So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions.
Yeah.
Let's start off with, what does flow mean to you beyond movement?
Bro, we're
So
going
what does
deep.
flow mean to
Right there.
you beyond movement?
Flow means to me beyond movement. I think it's like when you just go with the flow in life. Do you know what I'm saying? I keep it simple, where I'm not a type of guy who I overthink a lot, basically. So when I overthink a lot in life, it stops me from doing a lot of simple things. But once I kind of allow myself to kind of be free from that overthinking mindset, and I just go with the flow with whatever life throws at me, then it brings me at ease and peace. So it's kind of hard to explain, because in my mind, in my mind, in my in my mind, yeah, in my mind, I still treat, when I first started doing flow in general, I still treated it with structure,
Okay.
because I came from a structural kind of
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
So flow beyond movement just helps me kind of like let go of a lot of things, a lot of like boundaries that I have in my head.
Okay.
And so it does bring me like some sort of sense of peace and therapy in mind.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers the question, because that is a deep question.
Yeah.
It's a deep but simple answer, you know?
Okay, cool. Let's see what else we got here. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's relate this question to kettlebells. What's the biggest, I don't know, I do know. What's the biggest misconception about kettlebells?
The biggest misconception of kettlebells is that they're super hard to use.
Yeah.
They're unloved anyways. People go over to the gym, they see a pair of kettlebells and they just walk past it. They prefer grabbing dumbbells over kettlebells anyway, because it's a lot more easy to access, right?
Yeah.
So the biggest conception of the kettlebell is that it's dangerous, right?
Yeah.
In retrospective, it can be dangerous if you
Yeah.
don't have the knowledge to use them. But once you've been taught the basics of kettlebells, like just learning the handles, how to hold it in general,
Yeah.
kettlebells can be the most versatile piece of equipment that you can ever use. You can either just have one kettlebell at home, and you can work every single body part just by using one bell. So it's definitely been misconceived as the most difficult equipment to use, but it really isn't.
Yeah.
Like once you get given the blueprint for it, it's a game changer.
Okay, cool. Let's see what else we got. So, oh, Oh, okay. So my question for you is, what's something you struggled with in training that no one talks about? So
Something that I struggle with
you
in
can
training.
open this question or answer to mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, however you want to answer the question. So what is something you struggled with in training that no one talks about?
In training, I think the first thing that I struggled with in training that probably most people don't talk about is the end goal of what I'm training in.
Okay.
Right? At first, I always thought I needed to achieve something every single time, every session.
Yeah.
Then I realized that is the smallest little steps that you achieve is what really matters in that training aspect.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just chasing perfection.
Oh, okay.
And you chasing perfection is what makes it very toxic.
Yeah.
And For me, every time I try to chase this perfect technique, this perfect execution of a movement,
Yeah.
and if I don't get it, I start crumbling down and,
Yeah.
and start thinking, all right, you know what, maybe I'm just what do you call it? I get that imposter syndrome straight away. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely not good enough to do this. So definitely the pursuit for perfection has brought me down big time.
Okay.
And letting go of that image in my head that I have to get everything perfect.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm the same, man. Perfection is. Yeah, man. Like, things are a lot better when they're not even perfect.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Like, I think it's nice to refer back to a journey where things were once ugly or they used to be like this or it was a struggle. Whereas if things were perfect, it's like, where's your drive? Where's your motivation coming from? If everything's perfect, you know, it doesn't really exist.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
that's exactly it. The perfection
like, even
doesn't exist.
like us doing the workshop and me feeling the fear of, are we gonna sell tickets?
Yeah.
Like, that fear is also like the driving factor, and I feel like if that doesn't exist, then I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll give you one more. What's that? All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see. Okay. Wait, no. I want some different questions. Give me some more creative questions. So just asking ChatGPT to give us some creative questions. Give me creative questions.
Creative questions. Give me.
Let's see what we got. Okay, cool.
Oh,
This is a sick question. So if we lost all our strength and flow overnight, how would we rebuild it from scratch? That is a dope question. I'm going to read it one more time.
Read it one more time for the people. Damn.
If we lost all our strength and flow overnight, how would we rebuild it from scratch?
From scratch. So for me, I would start off with my fundamental strength first. So I will start rebuilding that with all my body weight movements first.
Yeah.
Which is my beast position.
Yeah.
And the minimalistic movement first.
Okay.
Because if I started off with the normal push-ups, squats, press, god damn this motherfucking kid, I'm gonna
What's their name? What's their name?
Zion.
Anyway, yeah. So,
right,
said,
we asked that question one more time.
So, if we lost all our strength and flow overnight, how would we rebuild? I can't talk.
No, I can't talk.
I can't talk. If we lost all our strength and flow overnight, how would we rebuild it from scratch?
From scratch. So, from scratch, the first thing I would do is I'll start building my strength through animalistic movements first again.
Okay.
And animalistic movements such as just holding a bear crawl plank.
Yeah.
Walking in a bear crawl plank.
Yeah.
And going forward, backwards, left and right.
That's a kid. It's a joke.
Oh man.
No, I got you. So bear crawl, moving forwards and backwards.
Forward and backwards, because I feel like anything that's got to do with animalistic movements in body weight first will correspond to flow.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because you're still building strength through all four limbs. Every fiber is working in as one.
Yeah.
So when you start picking up a piece of equipment, such as a rope, A
Yeah.
kettlebell, a dumbbell, or barbell, that's just an extension of your body. Do you know what I'm saying? So as soon as you stay connected and grounded with your own four limbs, fingertips, toes,
Yeah.
knees, and you're already naturally focusing on rotation with animistic movements,
Yeah, yeah.
then you start rebuilding that block step by step. At first it'll be difficult because animistic movements, you start from the ground.
Yeah.
But that's what we need to do. We need to be rooted to the ground first
Mm.
and then start building up, rather than going straight into barbells, dumbbells, or anything that matter.
Yeah.
Same thing vice versa for a rope. I think a piece of rope is the same thing as animistic movements. It's like you got a piece of rope and you start. The first thing you do without even learning any type of technique is just
swinging the rope.
swinging the rope.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when you start swinging the rope, you start kind of like, okay, like you start kind of moving the rope. Like, even if you get clips, you're like, the rope is teaching you something.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's the same thing with body weight. I think body weight, everything corresponds well from your own body and a piece of rope.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's how we rebuild our,
I agree
our
with
strength
that,
and
for sure.
coordination.
I
you know?
think we're on the same page. I would suggest that we approach movement as if we were babies again.
Yes.
So like crawling on the floor.
Yes.
Just rolling on the floor. So the thing is, all right, so what I've noticed here, I'll say this when the train goes.
Yeah.
So what I noticed when it comes to movement, which is a very broad term, some people, they freeze up when you say to them, explore. Because not everyone knows what it means to explore. There was once a moment where, because I teach movement class on Sunday, right? And for me, being at the stage I'm comfortable with, I can easily explore and discover because I'm so used to it, right?
Yes.
So sometimes when you tell people to explore or to flow, they're like, "What the flip is that?" Like, I don't know what exploring is. Like,
they want you to give them a baseline before they start exploring. Like you said, the moment you say explore, they freeze up.
Yeah.
Because they need something like a manifested puzzle to start off with that.
Yeah,
but I think that type of way of thinking stops them from exploring new movements that they never discovered before. You know.
What do you think stopping them? Sorry.
I think them having the mentality of thinking that I always need to be given a fundamental baseline, such as like what do you mean explore? Like, let's say if I gave someone a piece of rope or a kettlebell and I told them, all right, explore with that.
Yeah.
They'll be like, but how do I start? Do you know what I'm saying? They won't naturally be like, okay, explore. Let me start doing this, or let me just start like throwing it around. Same thing with a kettlebell. Like maybe I just start
this quick. So if someone said to me, "Oh, explore this rope," I think by default I'll do this.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't think to like, I don't know. It's just now I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of someone who's been told to explore and doesn't know what that means. Bearing in mind, it's very hard for me to see that because I'm so used to exploring. I'm used to knowing that there's patterns with this rope flow stuff.
Yes.
But I think just by default, I think most of us will probably just do this overhand pattern and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't think to like even bring the rope above the head. And, I don't know. It's interesting because also I guess by default as well, and this is something that's common in rope flow, is when I teach people or going forwards, what I do now is I actually teach them like an underhand pattern because by default most of us are like palms down. So what happens?
That's interesting. Yeah.
I'll give you example why. When I teach people like underhand, so palm facing up, a lot of them will somehow end up doing overhand.
Right.
So I get them doing underhand first, so that way, like, I can easily kind of spot are they going to overhand by default. Whereas if I show them overhand first, because they're so used to just palms facing down, when we move on to underhand, their brain's gonna be like
what? This doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I think they call it anatomical position.
Anatomical position.
I think anatomical is palms up. I think though. But I guess most of us naturally do just have our palms down and yeah.
That's an interesting way of putting it. It's the same way with kettlebells. It's always like if I gave them a kettlebell and I told them hypothetically, all right, explore with that kettlebell, the
Yeah.
first thing they'll think about doing the kettlebell is picking it up first,
Yeah.
and they start squatting with it or
Yeah.
pressing with it.
Yeah.
They won't, or maybe on a rare occasion they might lunge.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's the only thing they think about is down and up.
Yeah.
But they'll never think about grabbing the kettlebell upside down from the horn and doing halos.
A
with
lot
it
of
and
people hold it
rotations.
like that.
Yeah.
Even not say it's a bad or wrong thing, but
Yeah.
even when I see them doing squats like that,
Yeah.
it's just
It's
I know
interesting.
it's interesting.
It's interesting.
I like if I'm personally doing squats, I'll
Yeah.
do a front rack.
Yeah.
Or I'll do a goblet.
A goblet. Yeah.
A lot of people, like when I see them doing goblet in classes, I'm like, yes, like at least just. I don't expect you to get the front rack because this ain't even a workshop. It's just a quick class because some people complain about
the wrist
and
pain.
stuff.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
you can do a goblet at least, that's nice. But when they do that, I'm just like,
Yeah,
okay.
it's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. But that's another point with kettlebells, that it becomes so versatile that even with the way that they're holding it subconsciously, it still works for them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if they came over and they grabbed the kettlebell from the bell, some of these kids need to get kicked.
I think it's cool. It should make the shot.
So the thing is, actually, even as the kids are going around, actually,
Yeah.
the way that they're playing subconsciously and the way that they experience movement as well,
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect example of not caring.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Same thing with our kettlebells, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or our rope. It goes back to exploring, like, right?
Yeah.
We need to tap into our inner child sometimes.
That's true.
In order to tap into that exploration mode.
Yeah, for sure.
Because even as I'm doing this video, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm uncomfortable doing it in front of kids. But why am I uncomfortable? Why should I be uncomfortable?
That's true.
Like, again, I should be like the kids and not care and just boom. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. We've grown up so much, and we've been working in a system where it's like, oh, you have to be this way.
Yeah.
You have to be this way. And you're already growing up in a judgmental world. It's like, like, this is not it is normal. We're meant to be feeling, I don't know, what'd you say? We're meant to be feeling uncomfortable. And that's the only way that we can be comfortable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
True.
So when we start picking up a rope or a kettlebell, we will learn a lot more things when we start to feel forward. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. If the more you feel comfortable looking silly, is the more you discover more about yourself.
That's true.
That's how I see it.
That's true. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pause this.
Yeah.
We'll do another one. I'll give you some questions you can ask me.
Yeah.
And we can kind of wrap it up.
Go for it.
Don't worry about like passing the camera. You're good.